There's lots of videos on these 40 volt Ryobi packs, not too many on the 6 amp hour, the big gigantic one. I'm no battery expert, so don't take any of my advice. You might burn down your house, hurt yourself, whatever. I'm just telling you what I've learned as a regular person with some minimal equipment. So when I pressed the button on mine, nothing happened. And I took it apart. Well, first I checked, need a voltmeter, and put it on the 200 because 20 will be too low if it actually works at 40 volts. So this is going to be your positive, and this is going to be your negative here. So you can see that is 3.3 volts. That's not good. So these two are actually like temp sensors. I believe I might have them backwards, but I believe this one is checking the temp of the charger to the battery, and this one's the tool to the battery. But I don't know, we don't really need those, so who cares. But you can check the overall voltage of your battery right here. So you can see that that says B minus and that says B plus right there. So if you touch here, this is your main positive of the whole pack, and this is your main negative. You see I got 37.1 volts, and I have these backwards apparently. Yeah, B plus is red, positive. So there you go, 37.1. So when I did this, the battery, no light was on, and I had no voltage here at all actually. So I found on another video, there's some good stuff and some bad stuff. So I was able to charge the pack, and again, this can be dangerous if you're not watching this thing. So this is basically a power supply. I can't zoom out enough, I'm no video expert, but it will adjust voltage and amperage. So I set it to like 40 volts, and I think my biggest problem is I had too many amps. I set it to 5 amps because there are chargers available for these that are like rapid chargers of 10 amps. So I thought 5 would be good, but this thing got so hot. I mean, I was charging this till like midnight last night, and it's like 10 a.m. today. And this thing, I'm wearing gloves. I still can't touch some of this stuff. It's so hot. So I would recommend charging it slow, maybe at like 1 amp hour, and just being patient, but or 1 amp, I mean. But the biggest thing is, you know, this power supply doesn't shut off like a charger. So if you forget about it, and the way I'm about to charge it, there's no BMS, there's no way to shut it off. You could just overcharge these and they could, you know, explode or do something crazy. So what we did to bypass the BMS and charge it is, if you look, this metal here comes up, goes over, and comes up right to right here, the B1. Let me see if I can get a pointing tool so you can see better. So like that bar comes up and is right here, which happens to be your B negative, which is your main ground. So, and then we already discussed this is your main positive. So another way to jump, oh, and the main positive is here. So when we can see that on here, right here it says positive, and then that says T2, T1 negative. So negative, T1, T2 positive. So to skip the BMS, what we would do is hook, I like to always hook the power first so it doesn't zap. And also I just leave my power supply off. So I clip this here like that. And then I took the negative, and some people kind of solder stuff on there or whatever to do it, but I didn't need to do that. I just took this and I pinched it like that. And so that went from the main positive to the negative and skipped the whole board. So again, you can overcharge. It can be pretty dangerous. So what I did was I just watched this thing, and the voltage was basically nothing. And the amperage was what was going and charging it, and then as you would, the amperage would stay and the voltage would keep going up and up and up from nothing, and it went all the way up to the 40 volts. So once it hit there, I knew to stop. So from there, sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I got some allergies, but anyway, from there, now I have this pack, right? And when I check here and here, I'm still goofy at 3.3 volts, where my other batteries are up north, but I'm pretty dang sure that should be reading the 40 volts. So when I go here to here, sure enough, you know, it's 37.1. So my batteries seem to work. And once I got that voltage, my lights actually turned on. If I press this button, all the 4 lights turned on. Good to go. I was like, oh, sweet, I got the battery working. So then I put it in this charger. And of course, I got the blinking red, green defective. So I was like, crap. I went back to the internet, and when it did that, what happened was the first, where'd my pointer go? The first and the third light came on. I don't know if you can see it here, not really. So there's 4 lights here. You can see them 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your charge level of the battery. So my first and third one came on, and that's an error. Other people get like the first and the fourth one. Different things mean different things. So like the first and third, I believe, was like overheat protection, and believe me, this thing was smoldering hot. So I think that's what it was. So I would say before you do anything, charge it way slower at 1 amp instead of 5, and then wait for it to cool down. Don't let it overcharge. And then from there, see what the buttons do. If it lights up, try to charge it like I did. If it has the 1 and 3, once it's all charged, what you can do is then reset the battery. So to reset the battery, this is the one. Do not listen to the guy that owns the lawnmower business and runs Ryobi equipment. Why he would run that for a lawnmower business is beyond me. But anyway, so right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little dots. The first one says ground. The second one says 3.3 volts. The third one says reset. The fourth one is data SWIO, I/O, or something like that. I have it written down, but that's basically what it is. And then the last one is data, or I'm sorry, not data, SW clock. So you can see clock is written sideways, which was kind of hard to see that all these have a name. They ran out of space, so they put that last one there. Well, that guy was resetting the battery by going ground to the first one for 5 seconds, ground to the second one, and he ran through all 5. And when I went, I did that, and everything was fine and dandy. When I got to the ground and the SW clock, there was some kind of a little tiny noise, and that was it for my lights. I never saw them again. So I don't think he realized what the wording was, but the way to do it is to go the first one here is ground, and then, so if you count that as 1, 2, 3, the third one is reset. So I take a paper clip, and I got some gloves, just in case you don't want to get any part of a DC zap. And you're going to put it in that first one that says ground, like that. Just touch the metal, and then come over and touch the reset and hold it for like 5 seconds. And you'll see your lights kind of blink, and that's resetting it. So I had good success in that, and then I followed his video, and by the time I got to the end, boom, the battery was dead. So I think I dang near had a $200 battery fixed, and now I don't. So say that it actually worked and reset it. From there, what I heard is some people, it still didn't do anything. So what you have to do is hold down this button for like 20 seconds. And then it reset and worked. So here's another thing you can do too, is like, let's see, this is 40, so 6 amp hour. Let's see here, there's gonna be 9 packs of cells. So to find out if you had a bad pack, you'll want to just check the voltage in each of the packs that are run. There's like, well, you'll see. I'll just show you. But basically, with my charge point, so where it's charged to, so like if yours is half charged, these numbers will be different. But you can compare the increments, and the increments should be within like 0.1 volt or so. If it's a larger variance, if it's like a volt off, then one of your cells in that pack is bad. So none of anything of what I said would work. So let's just do some testing here. So right here, so you'll go find around the battery and you'll see, like, that one's harder to read. You can kind of see what one's clear. You can kind of see this one here, maybe. That right there says cell 2. So we're going to go around starting at 1, and we're going to go from the positive here and touch them all. So see my voltmeter? Yeah. So cell 1. Hold on, I'm going to do it from the negative. Okay, yeah. So we're going to start here. Now, your nominal, I believe that's the term, nominal voltage of a 18650 battery is 3.7. Like when you're charging it goes up to 4.2. So this is the first pack, 3.7. Perfect. Okay, so like when we go to cell 2, it's going to be ran in a series. So now we're on 2. So 3.7 plus 3.7 is, let's see, what is that? 14, 6, 7, 4. So now this one says cell 2, so we're going to go here. So yeah, see 7.3. I think my math was 7.4, that which it just jumped to 7.4. So we're good. So now you see the increment with my charge state. That's going to be about 3.4. So as I go through each of these, it'll be 3.4 plus 3.4 plus 3.4. And each of those, if you do the math on them, you want it to always be 3.4, not like 2.8 that you're adding. So let's just keep going through it. So here was my negative again, or yeah, so I got these back. That doesn't matter, just read the negative when you have them backwards. It won't like do anything. So 3, I'm trying to lean over the camera and see which one's 3. It's hard to read. So here's 3 up here high. You can see that's 11. Oh, see, that is still smoldering hot. I wonder if it's just charging a bit. Wow. Through my glove, this is hot right here. All right, so B, so we did 11. I should have grabbed a calculator. But anyway, that was 3. 4 is here. So you can see 11 plus 3.7. Yeah, that's 3. That's 14.7, so that's good. And then we're on 5, which is strangely here. 18.4. So you just keep adding 3.7 to the next one and see if it makes sense. If that was like 17, then we know there's a bad pack there in cell 5. So now we're going to go to 6. We're going to add 3.7 to the last one. And we're going to go to 7, which is here. See, 25.8. And we'll go down to 8. 29.6. And then we go to 9. It's 33.3, which would be basically the same thing as going here to here. Oh, did I skip one? 8, 9. Oh, 10. Yeah. There you go. 37.1. So in the beginning of the video, I said 9, but there was 10, which makes sense. 10 times 3.7 is 37 volts. And if you go in with the, I can't remember the other word, nominal and something, but anyway, 4.2 times 10 would be 42 volts, which is your 40-volt battery here. So when it's settled and sitting here, not being charged, it's pretty much supposed to be right around 37. So that would be the same as going to here, and should be going the same as going to here, but it's not. So I have some kind of a problem with my BMS. It appears that my batteries, all 10 sets of series are ran, or all, I don't want to confuse that. Basically, all 10 sets of my batteries seem to be fine, and there doesn't seem to be a bad cell. So like each one of these 10 are 3.7 each. They're not like 2 or 3, they're 3.7 or 3.6. They're within a tenth, which is fine. So they're all good. So I have some problem somewhere in here, right? And I did have these. I think I was literally 2 seconds from fixing it. So one actually should have checked all these voltages before you did the reset, just to see. So what I would have done probably is, if I had to do it over again, I'd start here, check my voltage, then I'd check my voltage here, and then if that's low, I would charge it like I showed you, keep an eye on it, babysit it, get it to the voltage, let it cool, don't mess with it, see if you got lights. You could see if it's got lights before it cools. If it's got lights, you're probably in business. Then go through, check all your cells like I did, 3.7, then double it, triple it, quadruple, all the way around. And if you got all your voltage there, you know, and check here too, because I mean, if you got the voltage here, you won't even have to do any of that. Maybe you already fixed it. And then the next step I would do is just going from that ground to the reset for 5 seconds. Your lights should blink, and then you can hold this button for 20 seconds and reset it. Check your voltage again here, and if you got your, you know, 37-ish to 40 volts, this thing's probably working. And then, you know, do this. So it does have the T10 screws. These ones aren't safety screws on here. There's like a black plastic, so they're pretty easy to get to. One has a black plastic plug. I just used a drill bit and drilled the plastic out, but be careful not to drill too far and drill the head out, and then you can't get it out, which I almost did. But anyway, so close. I'm bummed. But it'd still be good for someone that needs 36 volt and could deal with, or if they could replace this BMS, but that's over my head. But that's basically a culmination of a lot of internet research and everyone's videos, and seeing what videos, you know, what parts made sense and didn't make sense. And everything I told you is what made sense to me, but that guy killed me with this. But, you know, everything's a risk when you're learning from random people on the internet. Oh, there's another video too I saw where there's like, see these little like black, you can't see them, but I think they're called FETs. They're like a black square with 2 pegs that come out of them, and there's one FET here. It comes up there, and then the other one I think is here, there, and there. And apparently one is for telling it when to charge and discharge. And if one of those goes bad, then it won't want to charge. That could have what maybe happened to me. And there was a guy that used like a resistor, and you can find it on YouTube, but he like jumped it. I can't remember from which ones, but it was like this one to this one, and it was like some type of a resistor. And then that allowed it to skip the FET and go over here. But the problem with it goes back to my charger, is like it didn't know when to turn off the charger. So you really have to babysit it. It's super dangerous. But he did get it to work like that. I'd say my opinion is if you can't get it to work the way it's supposed to with stock charging and discharge, I would move on from the battery, because, you know, it's an expensive battery, but your house is worth so much more. So, I mean, lithium is no joke. They'll flare up. My buddy almost had his camper burned down from, what do you call those, like hoverboard. So I think that's all kind of rambling at this point. I'm just trying to buy time to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you. But anyway, good luck.